welcome to the Unwine. Today we really unwinding. I have a little bit of I have a bit of a secret to share with you all. Usually for the Unwine, I'd be drinking Diet Coke. Usually, but not today. Because today we really need to unwind. Hi, my name is Khalees. I will be your host for today. And today we're going to have so much fun. We're going to have so much vibes. On the Unwind, we talk about the unedited immigration stories. We talk to real persons who have actually been through immigration. And we ask them about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the in-between. And today we have a very special guest. She has probably been through all of the different systems and approach. She knows everything about Abro, right? Which is the immigration app. The immigrant app. We'll get into that a bit later on. And I'm so excited for this particular session because this person here has done it. She has been through it and she's still going through it. Right? Welcome into the stage our very own Kareen.
Hi.
So before we get started, Kareen, where your wine?
I don't wine. I have a cup of tea. Cup of tea.
Yeah, where your wine? I'm gonna make it as a requirement to know.
I don't consume any alcoholic beverages. My liver deserves a rest, so she's getting a rest.
Wow, Kareen, Can you really call yourself a Caribbean person?
Girl, yes. The amount of rum I drink in my days are good. They're real good.
Okay, Kareen, introduce yourself to everyone. We love to get to know you, and we're going to get to hear all about your immigration story as I open this bottle of wine. Go for it.
Sure, no problem. So where you want me to start?
Yeah, who are you? What are you doing here? Where do you live? Where are you from?
Okay, so my name is Kareen. I migrated to Trinidad and Tobago to attend UE in 2011. When I finished that, I decided to remain in the land of pan and soca. And I stayed there until 2024. So I left Trinidad and came to Canada. So why did I leave Trinidad? Why I leave the Caribbean to come to the land of cold weather and snotty nose? Well, there come a point in time when, you start to feel a bit stagnated, like you're not going forward. And that was it for me. And there were little hints, the good father above will drop little pebbles and give you little warnings. And if you make your head hard, you might get a boulder and it might land in hospital. What solidified it for me, I had to renew my passport. The day I collected my passport, the company where I worked was robbed at gunpoint. Had I not had to go to Port of Spain to collect my passport, I would have been there when the company was robbed. And I give God thanks and praise that I was not, because I probably would have fainted away or some kind of thing. Yeah. So that was it for me. And then a series of things. My neighbor in the apartment building next to me, some persons came in police clothes who were not police officers and ransacked his place. And I was like, nah, it coming a little too close to home. Let me organize and get my ducks in a row and peel out. And that is exactly what I did. Now, for me, I would have gone anyway. And I think I said this on other interviews you and I have had. I was looking at something else about going into Europe. And because of that, the algorithm put you on my timeline. So then I saw you, I said, okay, let me go through. And then when you hear Canada, you just always think about scam, like the first thing. And then I saw two persons that I knew personally. And I always big them up because I was able to reach out to them through the a village community that OPRO provided. And I reached out to Tamika and Adana. And they both gave me the information that I needed first. And I was like, yeah, people that I know have done it confidently, so I should try. So then that was in 2022, December. I spent that entire December doing research on where I would fit in. And unfortunately, I have some age on me. So when I did the CRS score calculations, my CRS score was not in a position that would have made me competitive for the draws. So then the option at that time would have been school route. And even one of the little calculations that I did online, they recommended the school route. So I started planning properly from January 2023. But had I known what I know now, things might have been different. So then I moved to Canada in 2024, April 2024, to undertake a one-year program at the University of Winnipeg, the cold place, University of Winnipeg, yeah. So I'm almost at the end of my school journey. So I'm finishing in April. So then I have to do what I need to do to transition from temporary resident status to find myself a PR. So that's where I am now. The journey has been one eye-opening. It has been quite fulfilling. And every day I get some little confirmation that I did the right thing at the right time. So
I think what you said, and we're going to get into your story, and I love how you gave us the full, real, unedited version, including your little run-ins with potential criminal activity, you know. Sometimes he is really at signs on, okay, you're just place for too long. It's time to move.
Yeah.
Imagine you so, okay, time to move over to the next, time to level up, time to do something different. Time to, you're not meant to be here right now.
Yeah.
And you said something towards the end where you did what you had to, you did the right thing at the right time, right? I think a lot of persons in hindsight, and I think you made a post about this because Kareen works at Upro doing our marketing over on our page, right? We talk about all that a bit later on. And of course, he was talking about how there's nothing worse than regrets. Yeah. Right? Like looking back, you always could say, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. But the people who succeed in life tend to be the people who take the options they have available at the moment. Right? So I think that while you were migrating, which is right after COVID, the student stream was the thing to do.
Yes.
And I think it was the best decision at that point in time. Persons who migrated at that point in time enjoy the benefits of taking actions at that point in time.
And still, even though I did it, the timing that I did it was quite beneficial to me. I still said, oh gosh, why didn't I come across Kelly's page when international students were allowed to work full time? That would have been ideal. But you don't know what you just don't know, right? Yeah. So deciding to move when I did, I thank God, because then after that, so I was aiming, I said a lot of changes usually happen around the October, November period. So I didn't want to stretch doing stuff too far into December because you never know what you're going to face at the end of the year. And from the I submitted, it only took me, I submitted on October the 2nd. That was a Monday. I did the biometrics on October the 3rd, that's a Tuesday. Passport request was the 5th. And by the 10th, I had already got back my passport. So it took me on average 5 working days to go down to the office down in One Woodbrook Place, submit the passport, go back, collect it, and have everything organized. No for no.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So there's so much to unpack here, Kareen. But before we get into life in Canada, life in Winnipeg/Winnipeg, I want to find out about life in Grenada. So before I even reached to Trinidad, why did you leave Grenada to come to Trinidad?
Well, the good old government of Grenada gave me a government scholarship, tuition paid, to attend UE. And when I finished, the normal procedure would be that you go return to your country and work for the government. So imagine your girl brand spanking new on the job market. I finish, ready to return home, contacted the Ministry of Education scholarship desk, and they're saying, try up the islands. We really don't have no vacancy here right now for you. So I was like, but it's all your money spent. You should make space because technically you're encouraging brain drain.
Right.
And they had no place to put me. And then I said, you know what? I'm already here. I might as well. And then maybe it was 2 weeks after I finished UE, I started to work in Trinidad. And I went through the process of getting my CSME certificate, which allowed me to work without having to get a work permit. And then I stayed. I started my master's. I did other things. And before you look around, 7, 8, 9 years, time just flew by and I was in Trinidad. So in 2022, I was seriously contemplating returning home. And again, I reached out to the persons that sent me to study, and same thing, no vacancy. So then I said, all right, all I can say, I didn't try reaching out to see what y'all have home for me to do, because I would love to be back home under my mother wing. So
I think it's a challenge with the Caribbean on the whole. Like producing these high talented, high skilled individuals. Like for Trinidad and Tobago, for a long period of time, tertiary education was free. So all the
Yes.
people around my age bracket had the luxury of free tertiary education. Right? Only
Yes.
to turn around with your nice master's degree, PhD, and no work in your field. That is like prepping people to leave.
Exactly.
You're
And then
prepping
when you go to a secondary school like Convent, right? I came out with 10 CXEs. 10 CXE in my time was plenty.
She bright on you. She's a bright girl.
No, but 10 CXE in my time was plenty. Now you have people coming up with
plenty, ma'am.
15, 16, 17, and my little 10 looking so minuscule compared to their things. And then you wonder, like, where did you go? At that point, though, the option of going to St. George's University, the government wasn't giving as much scholarships to them as compared to UE. So now they kind of reshuffle that, and they know, I don't think they're even giving scholarships now, they're giving grants. So you have to pay it back. So
Right.
I escaped.
Right. I got you. So it is creating an environment for brain drain when you don't have an economy that could sustain the people that you're educating, right? Because education makes your eyes wider.
Very much so.
I spent all this time and all this energy going to school. I want to use the energy. I want to use the work that I just learned. What's the purpose then?
Yeah.
A master's degree just because, all right?
Tell me about it.
It definitely is a challenge. If anybody looking on here for Ministry of Education in any of these Caribbean islands, or need to put something in place, right? Want to keep talent, you have to have work for talent.
That's right.
All right. We want to earn the money that was promised for somebody who had at our education level. All right.
Yeah, very
so
true.
That is why I decided to go to Trinidad, and then from Trinidad, because of the crime, I decided to come to Canada.
Just fed up. There's a time when you reach your maximum in a particular spot. Now, mind you, I have made, although they say co-workers are not your friends, I have definitely made some family where I was working. And to this day, I talk to them almost every single day. But for somebody of my level of ambition and my level of education, I needed more. I needed more of a challenge. And then working in the construction field, there's only so high a female could go in the Caribbean in terms of construction.
Right.
So I was a senior inventory clerk for the last 3-4 years, and that's the highest you could go in that area. Yeah,
absolutely to go up. I understand. So then you set your eyes on Canada, and then you scroll and you find something, and then you jump out.
Scroll and find you, and then it was full steam ahead, getting my ducks in order, and I did what I had to do, hop a plane, and landed. And I said, like, thank you, Jesus.
I must say though, Kareen, like we've never met before you landed, right? And even after you landed for a long time, you was in Manitoba, and then I decided to visit Manitoba last year, because there was a nice budding community growing there. I was like, I'm going to go Winnipeg and check them out. Check the flights. It was like 100 and something Canadian. I said, I go and book this flight. Only I come in, expect me to come in, right? And that is why I met you and the entire community down there for the first time. And y'all definitely, I love Manitoba. I love the vibe you're creating down there, right? But what I want to find out is, how did you expect Manitoba to be compared to how it really is? Right? I know we always joke and say Winnipeg, right? Is it really as cold as people say this? Is it really as unbearable? Being one of the smaller provinces, is it really as rural as people like to say it is? What has been your experience?
Okay, so I live just on the outskirts of downtown. Same as in Trinidad, I was living just on the outskirts of Chaguanas, not by just walking distance from the market, but it was close enough that I could walk to get anything, but far enough that if something happening there, it wouldn't necessarily affect me. So just in proximity. Manitoba is just the right amount of Canada that I needed as a newcomer. I didn't want it to be too fast-paced. I didn't want to go and bounce up a whole set of Caribbean people, because then I would have probably start back drinking, because Grenadians is oil long and rum. You understand? So I didn't want that. I wanted to be in a place where I could have new opportunities, meet new people, and not do the same old, right? Then in terms of school, I was looking for a school that offered two things. I wanted to merge business background with project management, and I found a relatively cheap course at the University of Winnipeg, and it was just for a year. So that made it easy to decide on Manitoba. Then the PNP process wasn't difficult, and it is less than 12 hours away from Grenada. Because from Manitoba to Toronto is 3 hours, and it's 5 hours to Grenada. So I could reach home in less than half day. So I factored in all those things. Now, in terms of the weather, it's cold. Don't get me wrong, but if you bundle up, it's fine. The only thing for me, I wear glasses, so my face sometimes gets a little frozen. But other than that, it's fine for me. I thought it was going to be worse, and I have been told that it does get worse. It just didn't happen to get that bad this year.
But it's your first winter.
This is my first winter, yeah, because I really thought it was going to be worse. It's cold, and don't get me wrong, it's cold. But I honestly thought it was going to be worse. Yeah, I really thought it was going to be worse.
I love that. And then how has been your experience with the community?
Well, I thank God for the community, because thanks to the community, I was able to secure housing before I got here. I was able to actually find family that I never knew existed, and that family didn't know I existed. But because of a connection through Upro, introductions were made, and it was like, oh, your surname is that, and my surname, my father's surname is that. We probably related, and then after some phone calls, Grenadians, we fast like that. After a few phone calls, then we realized, yes, we're actually cousins. So that has been a really, really good plus to know that I have people here that I could call on if something goes wrong. So far, knock on wood, nothing has gone awry so far. Yeah.
Right. Now, I'm convinced that all Grenadians know one another.
Yes. At least 1 degree of separation. If I don't know you directly, I know someone who knows you.
Because so far, after meeting Kareen, all other Grenadians who I have met who have used Upro services know Kareen.
Yep.
All of them. I'm telling you, somebody use Upro to come to Edmonton, and most people come to Edmonton through Upro. I get to meet them, right? So we sitting down, we talking, and I'm like, oh yeah, Grenada, I know somebody from Grenada. Oh yeah, her name is da-da-da-da-da. Before you know, oh yeah, I went to school with her.
Yep.
Kareen and the person on the phone talking. And I don't know what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody else the other day posting, that girl looks so familiar. Somebody living in BC. That girl looks so familiar. Da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, I know she. I went to school with she.
That's right. That's right. We only 100 and I would say 120,000 with a push. So we have more Grenadians living on the outside of Grenada than actually in Grenada.
Right. So it is that everybody kind of knows one.
Everybody knows. Yep.
I get that vibe. I definitely get that vibe. All of the Grenadians that I've met so far, I get that vibe. They're like, oh, who is that? That is, they want to know who is that? What's the last name? I feel like if they know the person. So now that you're in Canada, you work for Upro. Right? And let me just remind persons that this show is sponsored by Upro, the immigrant app. Let's just take a little break to show that. You work for Upro. How you manage that one? Tell me.
I like to talk, and I like to talk a lot of foolishness.
How you manage that one? Tell me.
So I believe in not being a gatekeeper. I honestly believe that you never know who you're going to help, and you're never going to know when your time will come when you will need help and you need people to give you information. True. So I was getting information from a village, and I only thought if I see something that's going to benefit somebody else, then I could also share it, because I did my entire application for myself. I didn't have to use a consultant. If I had any questions, is Upro. I went to the village and I asked the questions, or I was able to scroll through and see when other people asked the same or similar questions and they got answers. So I didn't have to hurt my head. I didn't have to spend no set of money, thank God, to get the information that I needed. So I just believe in sharing information. And when you mix that with the fact that I like to talk, and I like to talk a lot of crap, I like to see people smiling, I like to see people happy, I rather the positive side of life, the fit was just perfect.
Yeah, because we do have a very casual type of laid back family type environment. I don't like to say family because that's like a negative connotation with business.
Yeah.
Have a weekly meeting to go over KPIs, and every week Kareen staff was rolling. Every week Kareen Shopper, I, or even sometimes Nalini, because you know Nalini always about business. Nalini always like, okay, guys, what's the business,
Yeah.
right? But all of us, somebody always has some story to have everybody cracking up on this weekly meeting. So
Your life hard enough, so you might as well just take it smiling, yes?
yeah, I agree. Like a smile does make things go by a little bit easier.
That's correct.
You know, like bad things just happen all the time. It had no real way to avoid it.
I'm alive, so I have opportunity.
Yeah, we were just talking about this before the live started. Sidetrack, right? We were talking about like just the power of being positive and being just high energy and that positive energy, right? Like sometimes people are annoyed by your positivity. It's like, oh God, why you're so positive? But what you want me to be?
What you want me to do?
I sound like your butter. We sad together. What we gonna be doing? Just sad together? Somebody
no. I'm going and make up my face and frown to give myself wrinkles and no. That ain't making sense.
Both of we, you sad, I sad, both of we sad together watching each other complaining about life. How that ready for any one of us?
Exactly. And then what you complain about is what you constantly focus on is what you're going to attract.
100%. So with that being said, let's talk about PR. Because you're currently in Canada as a temporary resident. You're going to be finishing school
April.
After that, you're going to go towards PR and then she's going to come to Edmonton.
That's the aim.
Are you really? You see? I'll just throw that out there now. Just throw it out there, guys.
That's the aim.
Good. Manitoba people, tell Kareen bye-bye. She coming. She coming over here, right? What is your aim to go from TR to PR? Because this is a really important factor, right? People think that when you land as a TR, that all is well, everything is hunky-dory. No, you have an additional step.
Yeah, and then you remember you have an additional step. And
is that me? Is
that
you?
Bank account side eye, like you plotting against me. Where all our money gone? The account was filled, and all of a sudden you realize, Lord, if I don't get a job within an X amount of time, what's going to happen? Because it's not like up here, you could run across by the neighbor and take a hana fig from off the tree. You could go and pick mango from somebody's tree. It's not like that. Over here, it is individualistic. Everybody on their own beat, minding their business, doing what they have to do to get whatever they have to do get done. So when you're seeing the figures dwindling, your heart palpitating like, Lord. So now that things have stabilized because I am actually working, but I'm still poor because as a temporary resident, as a student, you can only work so many hours. So that's the thing. So even though you have a job, you can't go all out because you're restricted to 24 hours per week alone. Now, mind you, if the job is paying you well, you can, if once your tuition is catered for and already covered, you can do the living expenses with your job. Depending on what the minimum wage is and what you're doing, you're getting paid. You can't do that, but your tuition has to be covered. You can't do, trust me, unless you're getting like $100 for every 20 minutes, it can't work. You have to have money when you come in, and you have to have a lot of money when you come in.
Tuition.
Yep, you have to have a lot of money when you come in. So my aim for permanent residence is to get it done in the shortest place possible. No. Had I known, now mind you, remember I said in December 2022 is when I came across your page. In May 2023 is when the government announced that they're going to start focusing on French. Now, me paid no mind because I don't focus. I am doing the study route. In hindsight, had I known, I would have done French because I did French up to Form 3 in secondary school. And now that I'm doing French with UPRO, a lot of the stuff that we're doing, I remember it's actually coming back. And then now we have more tools. So you have Duolingo, you have 1,000,001 apps that you could utilize rather than back then when you're just dealing with a teacher alone. So you have more help to get the French going, right? So in 2023, when I started my process, I applied for school in May. So that's January, February, March, April, May, like 4 months gone, right? Then I came here in April of 2024. That's an additional 6 months.
You could have already done French.
I could have already done French and come into Canada as a
That's cool.
permanent resident, spend less money. And then if I wanted to go to school, I could have done that and it would have been cheaper. If I
100%.
could go back in time and do it that way, I would, because then I could have stayed in Trinidad, continued working, and do French.
Right.
So then I could have been gathering up my coins still, rather than scratching my head and pulling out my grades to see where I get any money to pay rent and so on and so forth. No, I just make it a joke. It wasn't that bad. Right?
And you got all she working for, bro. We.
You understand?
No,
So
we're not, Pralia. We not
a lot of
rich.
people
We not
think,
rich, Pralia. Just take Kareen word friend. We not rich as much as all it is.
yeah, so some people would be, a little bit trepidatious, thinking, oh, to learn French in their quote-unquote old age. But no, you actually have more tools to assist you in learning French. And the only thing I had more than enough time. And then remember too that I had started in a previous batch and couldn't continue because of other work commitments.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I had stuck with that batch, I would have been finished already.
Yeah. You would have. Okay. But you could only do what is in front of you, right?
You could only do what you know. Yeah.
So it wasn't aware, and only now I think we are all becoming more aware of how much of an opportunity French is. Right?
Yeah.
So you are doing French in addition to finishing up school and attacking your PMP. Your original plan is to get a PMP, which is a provincial nomination, right?
Yeah.
You still operating into plan A and you're doing French as a plan B, basically.
You have a plan C, I could go straight to express entry.
A plan C, right, exactly. So Kareen just making sure she covers she bases and that she bases covered.
That's right. That's right. Because as it stands now, with the French, you could use it for express entry. You could use it for the Francophone Mobility Program, the Provincial Nominee Programs. You could use it for the Francophone Community Immigration Pilot. And if you insist on going to school, you could go to school in French and do the Francophone Minority Student Pilot. So you have 5 ways that you could benefit from French.
You'll give Kareen some fire emojis. TT Empress said no bad breezes ever blow, which is true.
True, yeah.
Because half of those streams you talk about wasn't even in existence.
They weren't even in existence. That is very true.
So you could always look back and say, I shoulda, coulda, but you shoulda, coulda. Who knows what would have happened if you did sit down in Trinidad learning French when it could have been in Canada? Who knows?
Exactly.
Right? Who knows?
Then,
really
had I done that, I probably would have got stuck in the batch that they would have had to increase the proof of funds. I would have gotten trapped there.
That's the next thing too. I think people shouldn't beat themselves up about decisions made in immigration. When you decide to migrate, you should pick the best part at that moment. Don't ever think, I wonder if they will make it easier, if I want to make it better. No.
The delay,
no.
The delay does come back and haunt you. As I said in the last post, right? So in primary school, let me give it out. In the St. Louis RC Girls School in St. George's, Grenada, every morning we had assembly, right? And I could remember clearly because all my friends we used to congregate together, we yapping right through the assembly. And whoever got there first would hold spaces for the rest of us. You could only do that in primary school. You can't do that for immigration. I can't join a batch and say, all right, my friend go apply next year, so I want to hold space. You can't do that in immigration. You can't do that. So it's no for no. You have to be ready. You have to be ready. And then I was lucky in that, although they were making changes, the changes didn't affect me where I had to pivot.
Yeah.
I found a plan and I stuck with it and it got me straight through. But now with how the changes come in fast, you had to be ready to maneuver the different changes.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but the only thing for now that we could confidently say more or less is going to either remain the same or get better is anything to do with French.
Yeah, because they said that they're going to be increasing the draws every year by 10%, I believe, was the amount.
And
that it's going to get bigger and bigger for the next 2 to 3 years.
3 years. And I'm going to tell you, when you look at, say, express entry, because I had to watch it like a hawk, the last 5 draws, the CRS score has gone down. So they started off in September, it was 446, October 444, November it went back up a little to 478, December 466, February 19th, 428 points if you use French as your pathway for express entry. Compare that to the general express entry, which is almost 590 something or somebody.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the general express entry draws are 3 to 4 months behind. So they're going to cut off the last submission period. Say if it is in November, if they close off for November, then that draw is going to take place maybe in February. With French, the draws are usually in the same month or the month before. So let's say for that last draw that we had 2 days ago, the cutoff period was February 10th and the draw happened February 19th.
yeah.
So you have less people remaining in the pool. So you're just there for a shorter period of time. And that is a plus because you have people suffering in express entry to a point where you're there so long and your score not competitive. That how much time passed? 2 years and you have to go and redo your profile or whatever?
You could have been done learn French.
You could have learned French twice.
Time.
Exactly. So all these things you have to watch and take into consideration. The priority right now is French. And remember they said it was going to be 6 priority streams: construction, trades, and so on and so on.
STEM, healthcare workers.
They do one healthcare.
Yeah.
All the rest.
People came through that one door. You
Yeah, they do one healthcare.
And pharmacists landed approach through that one street.
Right. And then they went and they created now the caregivers thing. So they actually branching healthcare away from express entry and freeing up more space for French. So let them continue on that trajectory, drop the CRS score, and let me get in because I want to work for good money. I'm tired be poor. This 24 hours into it. That 24.
I swear, we rich. Listen to Kareen.
That 24 hours, ooh, and then it's not like in the Caribbean where tax paying is optional. It's only when you go to the supermarket and you have to pay VAT, strips and grumble, right? Here, all man Jack have to file taxes.
So God. Listen to me now. You cracking me up so much, huh?
I'm telling you, when you watch a pay slip, you're vexing because you're seeing how much going to tax.
So, guys, I am a full believer in always hiring people smarter than me. Right? Smarter than me. Right? So it's me with my little humble 7 passes. Kareen come with she 10 CXC passes.
If I give you the list, your ball 10 CXC, about 15 for Pittman, and Pittman is British.
10 CXC passes, right? When she went to Convent, right?
Convent, yeah.
She went to Convent, right? And not to mention, like since I've met Kareen, she's the type of person she would see something to do and just do it.
Yeah.
That's why I hired her, because she was in the village just posting, she's doing research. She's like the most knowledgeable person. Check her encyclopedia. If she don't know it just now, coming back. She go and find it and come back. Put it in a way that you can understand it and then get you back the information. I was like, you know what? I could do with this energy in my life. I love smart, enthusiastic, high positive energy people. Right? But being a part of Uproar didn't mean that Kareen needed to do French. So a couple of months ago, maybe like about a year ago, I was looking at the stats and I realized, you know what? Hey, French is going to be the thing they're focusing on. Right? I don't want our users to get left behind in this. Let us launch a French community. Let me get a teacher. Let me make sure everybody got a option to learn French, right? Who am I to see pay in full out of she own money without telling me nothing? First person to register for batch 5, Kareen in the mix, right? So I was like, you in French? Yeah, I in French. I say, this is what we will do for batch 5. And I think this is the reason why batch 5 has had like the highest rate of people staying on for so long, persons are enjoying the class. If you're in batch 5 of the Upper French community, give me a 5 down on the chat. Let me know how your batch 5 going, because the batch 5 let's batch 5 lit to the team. I am so excited for batch 5 to write the STEF exam. I'm so excited. Let me tell you, I write and fall so hard. I feel like it falls, but try right now. Listen. Let's go.
Yeah.
Batch 5,
right? So when I was in school in Conforms, you come looking back now, you could tell, okay, I know what I needed as a student, right? And I was just relaying this story to a certain individual. One time and one time only I could remember, I was thrown out of French class because I didn't have my textbook. right? Now we don't have that issue because we get the lecturer sends the information to us ahead of time, so we could do our little prep and review and stuff, so that when he starts on Saturday, we go in full steam ahead. Then the class has some good ones, I must say. They have some good students who are eager to learn French. Now, me, I come with a little bit of background with French, but there are people in the class who are starting from scratch and they are doing very, very well. So to anybody who's still thinking or on the fence, I would say, even if you don't want to pay the whole fee now, although it's cheaper if you pay all now, and you just want to try it for a month, try it for the month. Because that month might roll into, all right, well, let me try it for a second month. And then before you realize you listening to somebody talking French and you understand what they say. Try it. Bet on yourself. Take that chance on yourself. It's only what compare what I spend in total for 1 year of school and living expenses, 33,000 minimum Canadian dollars. That is over 60,000 EC. That is over 120,000 TT. Compared to 1,200 Canadian dollars? Nah.
Yeah.
1,200 for 8 months as compared to 33,000 Canadian dollars.
Something dollars. So
yeah, because I pay in full and I get away with murder.
Yeah, she got it real cheap. Just like, I ain't playing this.
Yeah, when I see that price, I
say, information to it's good. We wouldn't put out nothing. Always like the opportunity just puts me all into something. Yeah, we putting it all on and paying it all on the table. We paid it all on the table. Yeah. That's what we coming with, right?
Nobody is not going to say that you're going to go to bed tonight and miraculously wake up in the morning and know everything. But you have help if you're struggling. You have a community with you, so it's not you alone in the wilderness. You have people, so if you're in the wilderness, you have people who could stretch back their hand and pull you out and help you along the way, because it is my aim to get as much people from batch 5 ready for when we have to do that exam.
So I'm trying to get to this point here. You are the class prefect for batch 5.
I need my badge.
Yeah, so what we did for batch 5, which was different from all of the previous batches, is we elected a class prefect. So the class prefect, they do like these revision sessions where they come together. I heard somebody say they use Duolingo. A lot of people use Duolingo on their own. But they come together, they have competitions for Duolingo in the group on a revision session. All right. So they're like, it's gamified now. So now you have a game, who competing, who coming first this week, who coming second this week, right? A person who never did French before is right now to the top of the class. Killing them, right? It's Brad, you never do French at the top of the class, right? Yeah. So that is like the good thing about it. We also introduce challenges. So what's the name of the challenge again? The perfect student. The perfect student. So we're giving away money, cash prizes, all that just to keep you motivated and to bring in a little bit of competition into the mix, right? Not to mention they have their homework in Google Classroom. They get recordings of the class, the sharing information, the getting recognition in the group. So all of this is really an attempt to keep you
motivated
in the thing, right?
The only thing I don't like though is that the fact that I am employed by Opera, I can't win the little prize for the best student.
No, you can't win nothing. You can't win nothing. That's it.
That's the only hang up.
And I'm seeing some persons asking about French. The program is 8 months. So it's 8 months of learning, 2 months of TEF preparation, right? Total in 8 months. It's an 8-month program. And you might think 8 months is real long, but 8 months going to pass anyway, Ollie.
That's the thing.
8 months going to go by anyway.
That's the thing. Because from 2026, we might be having this very same conversation, and somebody who is on the live now probably thinking, okay, I'm not going to do it. But then next year when we have this live again, they was like, oh, if I had done it then, I would have been done now. The time will pass.
Yeah.
The time will pass.
And you can comment the word French, and you will get the link to join the batch 6 French community. French to join. I'm going to post it here. All right, comment French to join. Comment French, pin post. So, Kareen, yes, we know we love French, right? But how is this all tying in to the persons in the class. So I know I want you to speak for the persons in the class because you now just talk to everybody in the class, right? Some of the challenges persons are experiencing, and also like how is this? Why are people even doing it? Because we have like about 20 persons in total in batch 5, right?
Right.
What really going on? What is in the minds of the people in batch 5?
Right. So the main thing for persons in batch 5, now we have persons who are in Canada already, and we have persons who are not in Canada. So the persons out of Canada are you looking to use French as a way to get in. So they want to use it for express entry. And then there are persons like me who are already here who are using it as the bridge from temporary resident as a student to permanent residency. Then I think there are a couple of people who are just doing French because it is going to provide benefits for employment. In Canada, government jobs, you have to be bilingual. So if you could speak French and English, kudos to you. RBC, which is not the Trini version, I'm saying that big and bold. The proper RBC. They have specialized what do you call these people? Customer service reps. So for instance, if you are Cantonese or Chinese and you have difficulty with English, when you call RBC, they send you to that division.
Yeah.
So I know they had plans to develop more. So in the event that, being bilingual is such an asset. Then if you want to tour Canada, now Canada is huge. And it's like driving from downtown Winnipeg, just 20 minutes south is like a whole different country. So imagine moving from, say, Manitoba and seeing what Quebec is like. And Quebec is the French quarters. Even in Manitoba, we do have a French area. It's called St. Boniface. And it's the same thing. When you speak French and you're bilingual, you get to experience so much more culture. You get to feel like one of them, like you're rich, you understand? And then on top of that, you could just use French to travel the world. You have go to more countries that speak French, like Cote d'Ivoire. You could go to Africa and so on.
You see what Charlie say? This is Charlie. I put out she comment.
Oh gosh.
Charlie is an opera client who landed in Edmonton. Sitting on my kitchen table talking and real.
Yeah. So it has so many things that you could learn French for. But for the majority of us, it is for immigration purposes. Yeah. And in terms of how the class has been, no, first day, my boy started, I'm going to be speaking 98% French. And if you see eyebrows shoot up, we're like, what?
Everybody feels like, listen, if looks gonna kill.
Yes.
And then that first day, everybody looking at me so like, Kelly's?
Like, what? But compare that reaction on the first day to last week. So last week in the revision class, I just did 3 slides about myself, and it was all in French. And the persons who were in the revision class had to read and translate. And they were amazed that they could actually read what's there and know what it is I was speaking about.
Yeah.
So compare that to day 1. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now, the challenge for most people is time management, because we working, we in school, we have children, we have all sorts of things going on, right? But for me, suffer now, the reward will come later.
I can't wait.
Give up an hour of sleep, give up an hour or 2 of sleep. Listen, enough time. I in my bed. And I say, I'm not going to sleep without at least putting in a half an hour of Duolingo. And bap, the phone hit me straight in my forehead because I fall asleep with the phone in my hand. So you had to make up your mind what you want and what you're willing to do to get it. Because French, it's not that difficult. Once you start and you're in it, and the more you're in it, the easier it gets.
I've realized that just sitting in on the classes, like the last class I was sitting in, not this week, the week before, in Banff. So I wasn't in the class.
Yeah.
When I was in the class. Yeah. And when it was like, oh, it finished already. The class went by real quick, understanding everything. I was like, from the first day when I'm looks gonna kill me dead. Now I'm a whole night I'm chilling. I was like, okay.
I mean, it's not going to be like that every day, but the work really depends on you. It really depends on you. Now, I was using the free version of Duolingo. And I realized now every time I use up all my heart, I have to wait long. So now I have to spend like a little extra $20 every month to get the upgraded version, when now I could put more hours into it immediately. I don't have to wait. Then I wash and wears. I have a video of something from French on YouTube playing in the background. I fold in clothes, same thing. Everything I'm doing, French is usually in the background running somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So in 6 months, y'all are going to be doing TEF.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited about batch 5. We even invited back someone from batch 1 to come and sit in on the batch 5 class. Just to see, because let me tell you something. I've been so obsessing over French. And let me just come close and let y'all know. I have been obsessing over how do we make this French community better?
How we make it pop.
How do we make this community effective?
Mm-hmm.
So I say, let me invite back somebody who did it and who actually completed it and who actually did the TEF exam, right? So I don't want somebody who kind of do that. I want somebody who did the full program in batch 1. I want to invite them back for batch 5 to see. And she was jaw-dropped, amazed. She was like, Kelly's, this is a whole, girl, I'm not telling you. Tap myself on the back, nobody can talk to me. Talk to my manager. Because I feel like Kareen, we have done something here. We have done something. I am so proud. And I cannot wait for the next 6 months when you're right TEF, because I'm going to be screaming some hilltops. I'm rooting for batch 5 so hard. When you all do TEF, and for those of you who missed the first part, you do TEF, then you go through one of the streams and you're PR.
Mm-hmm.
And
I still don't think people understand. Like, if you use the French stream for express entry, you don't need a job offer. You coming in from the minute time you hit YYZ, you could be looking for work. You don't have to suffer like me with 24 hours. You could work full time, but you don't need a job offer to come. Once you do your application and your application gets approved, now for those, that's why if you're outside. Now for those of us in Canada who are already working and we can secure full-time work, we now would not have to provide proof of funds. All we need to provide is a document from our employer saying that we are employed full-time at 40 hours a week and minimum like a year or something like that. So it's covering so many bases to learn French. I am excited to work and have no care in the world and get it done.
Just get it done. 6 months are gonna be
dedication. It requires a lot of dedication. It's not impossible. It just requires dedication.
So in hindsight, Kareen, I know you have some regrets about your whole immigration journey, right? And
yeah. If I could do the French then.
This will be replayed on YouTube, so you can go follow Kelly's Travels on YouTube or Opera app on YouTube, and you will see the replay of this if you missed her story from the beginning when she spoke about some of the regrets, some of the things she had done differently, right?
Yeah.
In hindsight, now that you're near the end, you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. How do you feel about the entire process, and how do you feel about the decisions that you made on this journey?
Okay, now let me take out the fact, let's take out French out of the equation, because at the time when I would have applied, French wasn't as cemented in immigration policy as it is now, right? Mm-hmm. So take out French and consider everything else. It was the right decision at the right time. Although I had 1 or 2 hiccups because all the Trinidadians just suffer people for foreign exchange. But other than that, I had
bums. I'm feeling a little attacked on you.
Hey, listen.
You call me RBC, a counterfeit RBC.
A counterfeit RBC. Okay, these people really do make life hard for foreign exchange. They really, really do. So, taking all of that into consideration, for me, it was the right decision at the right time. I moved right. Had I been 3 weeks later, instead of me finding $10,000 proof of funds, I would have had to find $20,635 plus tuition. So that 3 weeks saved me a lot of stress. A lot of stress. And I thank God that I moved when I moved here. It was perfect timing.
Just to conclude, right? I did I asked persons in the village today. I did a hot take.
Right.
In the village today. And I was like, what was the hot take again? Oh, I come out for
Bacchanal, there for commerce. Yeah.
I come out for Bacchanal. So here the hot take. The hot take was, coming to Canada as an international student is now a waste of money.
It is.
Otherwise.
It is.
No. But guys, I'm going to tell you something. I believe that. I believe. And until they make changes, if I were migrating today, I will not come out to international students. I would prefer keep my money that you're going to pay. Yes, investing in yourself, awesome, great education. Nobody could take it away from you. But why are you paying 3 times more? It's not because of certainty for PR, because it's not certain no more.
It is not certain, exactly.
We can invest
it is not.
Can't we?
Just imagine, right? A 1-year postgrad certificate, a 1-year diploma is no longer a guarantee for your postgraduate work permit. You have to do at least 16 months of school. So if you so just imagine you have finishing school, say next year January, and you're already in school and in the process. Everything that you're thinking that you will be able to get on a 1 year, you can't get it now. So you're spinning top in mud one night. Okay, so like, what did I do the 1 year for? Then on top of that, your spouse cannot work. So then what are you going to all that stress for?
So I'm gonna continue with the hot take because I know I'll break some hearts today, but I think it's a conversation we need to have because in April we're not just trying to get you to do a quick sale, because why? April we're with you years later when you're buying your first house. Do you feel I want to lead all down a path that I know in my heart is the wrong one? No, even if it's my opinion, because it's a hot take, it's my personal opinion, it might be right or wrong or in between. I want to tell you how I really feel about something. And if I'm looking at the changes, yes, we know we have an election coming later on. We know it have plenty of variables. Immigration has changed. It might change in the next 2 weeks. I might come back and say, change. But as it is right now, I will not take my hard-earned money now, today, as of today, and invest it in school to pay 3 times the amount with no guarantee for PR.
With no guarantee. That's correct.
That's too much money to be playing up with no guarantee for PR, with your spouse unable to work. Even persons who come, we have seen that the change in rules for people who in Canada and the spouse now can't work overnight. Yeah. I just don't feel for myself, I won't do it. Right? If I was migrating to Canada and I was outside of Canada already, I will sit tight, hold on to my money, continue working, and learn French.
Yeah.
In the next 8 months, we have an election coming. Who knows what will happen after that? We're expecting good things to happen after that. By then, you are the top of the pile because why? You've been putting in the work. You've learned French. You're eligible now for almost everything. Come true. Full guns blazing, right? But to sit down and say you will spend your money to come to Canada international students with no guarantee for PR now, with what you know now, that was okay 6 months ago.
Not now.
Yeah, not now. Like, you have to really put common sense ahead of ego. Right? Yes, we want to invest in ourselves. We know the value of education. Nobody could take it away from you, right? But why are we paying 3 times the amount for no guarantee PR?
That's right.
I prefer land as a PR and go to school if you so love school and pay 3 times less.
That's right.
And then the number one thing that I highlighted in my hot take, because I was real adamant about this, y'all. Right? When I stand up on something, I stand up with 2 feet. I don't just tiptoe the line on things, right? I stand up on this with 2 feet. The number one thing that I think is the benefit between PR and TR is French, and the student pathway is the no delay to PR. And the fact that in most streams for immigration concerning French, you land as a PR and you could go almost anyway. So when you in Toronto fighting up because you and 10,000 people fighting for one job.
And a shoebox apartment. Don't forget that part.
Right? You fighting up in Toronto, you fighting up in Calgary because why? You're in the University of Calgary and University or whatever in Toronto. If you was a PR, you could have said to hell with the city. I pack it up and I move it wherever because it have a job there. I pack it up and I move it over so because they have less people over so kind of big. It's not just one city. But when you tie yourself hook and anchor to a city because you're in a school for 2 years, spending all your money after the 2 years of going to school, you don't even have no money to move because you just spend all. And you're in a postgraduate work permit with no guarantee PR, even if you could even get the post. Listen to me, it's just not making sense. I don't care standing up on this with 2 feet, but 2 feet. If it changed tomorrow, I'll come back and say, oh yeah, it changed. I'll change my opinion. But as of today, my hot take is coming to Canada as an international student is not a waste of money. Convince me otherwise.
I second that wholeheartedly.
I second that. Particularly because you want to be able to move around if you're not able to make a living in a city. If you land in a city and it's not working out, you can't find no jobs here, you don't like it, it's too cold, whatever reason, move. I remember when I landed
When
in
you're
Calgary.
throwing talk for me about this cold thing.
Okay, trade off here. It was 6 months I spent in Calgary before I moved to Claresholm. I landed. Why I moved to Claresholm, a job? I don't have loyalty to no city.
Yeah.
My only loyalty is to Trinidad and Tobago. I as a Trinidad and Tobago citizen. When I first landed, I loyal to Trinidad and Tobago. And if I could leave Trinidad and Tobago and come to Canada, what make you feel I loyal to a city here?
Exactly.
I will throw a city so quick if it have no jobs. I'm moving so quick, especially when you land in Canada and you don't have no friends or family. I don't know nobody. I don't know, they can't keep me here. I will so quick and go somewhere else. I don't mean to be so blunt, but I really want to just invoke some thoughts in your brain, right? For a person to hear already is okay. You're already committed mentally to a particular pathway. But for people who now come in, just be open-minded and think.
Yeah, because you can go to school after and pay less. That's the main thing. If you're so hell-bent on school, go after.
Yeah, go and pay less. Yeah.
You think about it, right? Why, when you apply for, say, you insist on school, you apply for a study permit. For some people, it takes 9 months for them to get the approval, you know. So in that space of time, you're waiting on another approval. You could have learned French, do your TEF exam, apply for express entry, and since the cutoff and the cutoff and the draws are so close, you could have get through with express entry before they approve your study permit.
So Millie on YouTube is saying maybe the French group outside of classes, there can be a study group formed to help because the dedication and time given can be for women. Yeah, so in the there is a study group and a revision group. There is. So that is exactly, I think that has made a great difference to the batches now, right? Because they are getting together and they're studying. And I'm even thinking, I was going to add this, pitch this to Kareen to see if she likes it. A French night, movie night. Right? The person's could socialize and watch a little French movie. All of the batches come together, not just one batch at a time. Everybody come together, and because it's more than just learning French, it's about the community. Stay engaged. If you stay with anything long enough, you become expert at it. So much of us just give up on things too easy. Too easy. You're jumping from the pot into the fire because the fire comfortable. That's serious. So they're jumping from the pot into the fire because why? Or they're used to the struggle. No, stick with something to the end. If you stick with something to the end and then tell me it didn't work, no problem. All it is too quick to jump out.
You just have to give it your all. Seriously. So anybody who is thinking about it, stop thinking about it and at least book the first month and see how your batch goes. Minimum.
I said I done batching this lunch.
But if after all this, Kelly, those are the back.
I don't say all I had to say. I get off my chest.
One thing we can say is that the people at Opro did not tell them.
And a lot of my chest to say. Because I'm watching it. I still say, okay, you know what? This is, in some cases, it makes sense. Right? But the more we go along and the more we see, 6,500 people just got an invitation to apply through French.
Yep. But that's the RS score of how much? 428.
That's considerably less than my CRS score when I migrated 5 years ago, pre-COVID. All right, and then families landing all there, true French opera families landing. We just see the data because we are the ones helping persons to land. So I'm seeing people landing left, right, and center through French, but it's not Caribbean people.
Yeah,
it's not we people. Everybody welcome on opera, by the way, and we're going to help anybody who comes to migrate.
That's right.
But I am seeing in our first community, which would have been the Caribbean community, people are so hesitant, jumping out the pot into the fire because the fire comfortable. And what I know what happened is that they come back in my ears in like 3-6 months. Kelly. I will be watching all with judgment eyes. I don't ever say the eyes, you will see the twitching like this. This I didn't touch it, so like did you see what I was screaming for the Hiltons come and learn French?
Yeah, exactly. I talk about French like a horse.
Everything off my chest, on everything I get off. Okay. Okay, so in conclusion, Kareen, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. The next batch, batch 6, it starts next week, February 25th. 100. How much is the what's it cost again?
150 Canadian.
$150 Canadian. It have nothing more that Kelly said I could say more than book the French. You have nothing to lose but so much to gain.
All right, and come and you
My
will
2 cents.
you will get that link. And it's not because we trying to sway persons from one area to another, because on Upward we have a whole tab for education consultants. We have education consultants. We have a whole student community. Right? That's the benefit of Upro. Like, we have everything. So if you want to come as an international student, go to the French, go to the student community and go and pay your money there.
I'm paying money there.
Yeah. So we have no benefit to saying come from here to go there. Right? What we're saying is we seeing trends and be smart. Okay, we seeing trends, be smart. If you want to go as a student, go to the education consultant tab, pay your education consultant on there, go find a school for you, come to Canada and study. Right? So either way is okay. Either way, use Upper for either way.
It's up to you and your pocket.
Up to you.
Yeah.
And with that, guys, I think we need to end. Oh God, we know it's like 1 minute. It's always a pleasure. I love having these talks with you because we're so familiar with one another. I feel like I could, really talk my talk and you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, we here.
You understand what I'm saying? Thank you so much for allowing me space to get this thing off my chest here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we're looking forward to batch 5 and your results. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, so persons in the Instagram, give Kareen some fire emojis. Thank you for coming and giving us your story. And
no problem.
Your results.
And then also, if persons still hesitant and they want to talk to me one-on-one, they could find me on Instagram, send a message to Upro. It's usually me who would be responding anyhow. So questions, queries, ask away.
Thank you very much, Kareen. We love you. We appreciate you. Bye, guys.
Bye.